throws it downfield, looking for Trey Seals, and it's going to be caught by Trey Seals in the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. He's off to the races, gets on one defender, 15, 10, 5, and in for the touchdown. John Goldman, quarterback keeper.
Welcome to Season 7 of the Brett Beer Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. I'm your host, Chase Gardner. With me is Coach Beer. Coach Beer, how you feeling today?
I feel great. You look sharp today.
Thank you.
I appreciate you getting dressed up for me.
You know, Coach, we have a lot of new players and young players coming in this season. You know, you saw us out there in our winter, training. You saw us out there in spring ball. What were some things that you knew for sure we need to accomplish just going into this summer?
Well, I think you asked me this question a few months ago before spring football. I definitely knew it was going to be a challenge. But I didn't know exactly where we were. We lost so many. We got one returning starter on defense. We got a handful returning on offense. But I'm not going to let that be a crutch or an excuse because, at the end of the day, this program is built by grade after grade of winners and guys that have bought into the system, that are not scared of the standard, that come to work every day to grow. And when your opportunity comes, you're ready to go. It's just when you get into the situation that we got into with the scrimmage, which we'll talk about, you find out a lot about yourself because, spring football is completely different than the fall scrimmage. There's a lot less pressures. You've been, you have, you're off all season. You have 10 days of practice, or really 9, and then the game. Your energy and everything is a little bit different. The stress and the pressures of the spring game are not near the same. So I thought you handled that really well. I thought we were nasty. I thought we played well with Chalmette, who's a really good football team, traditional power, or a playoff 5A team. And then you go into the summer, and I thought 7-on-7, the month of June was really good. I think for the first time we went undefeated. Did a lot of great things, but it's like I have to remind you, 7-on-7 is not real football. A quarterback can't sit there for 4 seconds. You don't have them big uglies up front that are in his way and in his vision. Trying to get nasty in the trenches going on in front of him. In the game, the speed completely changes when you get dudes going after dudes. And, that's where it was. It was physical. And that's where a lot of us have kind of started to see that I don't want to say we're behind. We're just young. And I'm okay with that. There's no panic button here. I could care less about youth. It's not like we haven't been here before. But we have been here before with an offensive line that was really young and struggled in the past, where this one's a pretty good offensive line, you being a part of it. That's going to change a lot of things, but really love where we're at. It was ugly. Hell, everybody watched. I watched it too, and it was ugly. But it was going to happen because these guys, a lot of you sophomores that are part of your locker room had to play for the first time, and it was fast. Zachary was fast. Zachary was big, probably the top team in the state, and we got thrown out there, and that's really what I wanted. I didn't want to play anybody that wouldn't make us better, that wouldn't give us a glimpse of where we got to get. And I'm excited about where we are now going into Jamboree Week.
Coach, a lot of people out there at the game, they might have saw, we went down a couple of quarterbacks, but, we had one that stepped up big time. Tell me where your thoughts at about that.
Yeah, this time last week we had 4 quarterbacks in the room. Now we have 1. So, it's a little different animal. And we got other guys we're going to get ready to play. We're excited about Luke Wilson getting a little action right there. You talk about probably one of our better athletes, the top punter and one of the top punters in the state. That risk scares you, but you got to have a quarterback. He plays a position you don't even want to use. So we figure we get him a little action, and he's got the right mindset and the moxie to get us, to get us out of a game if need be. You got Tanner that can go in and play some quarterback that has enough arm and enough know of the offense to where he could get us out of it. And then you got Zidane Hoyt, who backed up Kenshin and has got some starting time in junior high. But you look at all this. We got answers for all our situations. If we didn't have answers, we wouldn't be good coaches. But one of the big answers I think you want to know is how I feel about the quarterback position. And I thought he did some really, really good things. My expectations for him have probably been a little high, probably a little faster than they needed to be, because we're talking about a freshman that played in the Final Four in basketball. So he's got the makeup and the moxie there. But he's an LP kid, that's got a battle for the first time, I think, in football, and he's had to come to grips with that competition, and now you throw him into the fire versus Zachary against probably the best team in the state, and here he is with a great look on his face, great body language, and I thought he delivered some great things. The mistakes, I told him I don't even care about the interceptions because these are all things he and I have talked about that he's got to learn, and that the only way you're going to learn is what happened the other night. And, you're going to throw some picks, trying to press a little too much as a sophomore. And some of those balls that you can lob over the middle that you could throw against junior highs and LP, you can't throw against the Zacharys of the world. And those are all things he's got to get comfortable with. And that kid's such a quarterback that he's going to be he's a few weeks away from being special.
Yes, sir. No, Coach, I heard you went out there and played a little bit of golf with Beau.
Yeah, that's what you call it. I hadn't hit a golf ball in a while. I'm not going to make excuses again. I don't make excuses. I sucked.
Let's take a look at it real quick.
Yay.
4th seed, first highest seed Denham's had in a long time, and got Deshaun's receiving and passing touchdown record. Let's just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, what a lot of fun. I mean, it was just a big time of year, when you have a class like that with 41 seniors, kids that loved Denham, kids that had leadership, kids that just paid their dues and waited their time and had the opportunity to show what they, what they've been working on in their craft. And I tell you what, man, it exploded. What a fun time to watch. Probably one of the best offenses in the history of Denham Springs, and just amazing kids competing and getting after it. And it was just a lot of fun to be a part of, a lot of fun to watch. Pulling off of it still.
If you guys want to go check out Beau's and Coach Beard's golf video, you could check it out on our YouTube channel. All right, Coach, let's get into the live action part of the game.
Let's do it.
Broncos set the kick right here. Ball's in there. Look like number 5, Jalen Williams, back there to receive it. Makes a nice run. You see everybody's out there blocking pretty good. Finds an open space, big explosive run right here. Run towards the sideline right here. Gets pushed out. What an awesome field advantage right here for the offense to come out and score.
It's going to be fun, a lot of fun to watch this year.
Fakes the handoff to number 410 to Kerner, pass to number 89, Owen Russell, who's hit out of bounds right here. So saw a little bit of catches like that with Owen last year. Devin Kitchen back there, quarterback. Fakes the hands off, rolled out. Pass intended for number 6, Brandon Seals is picked off right there. Coach, just another interception by Devin Kitchen, but he's a young player, just not all the way there yet.
There's a learning curve, and he's in the curve. But again, the moxie to even try to make that throw. I mean, look, we're going to be just fine. He's just got to learn from it and understand that the job's got to be done. We got to finish these drives and not turn the ball over. But he's going to get that in time, and excited to see what he does when he does get that.
Broncos ball right here. Quarterback steps back. Ball is in the air right here, and it's picked off by number 8, Jadarian Clark. He makes a nice little run right here before he's brought down. Coach, just another one of the new players we talked about. Having him on the field. How excited are you to see him to go out this season?
Yeah, brings a lot of energy to our locker room. A guy comes from Parkway, a kid falls into our lap from Bossier Schools. I mean, he's a tough kid. He's been really a huge addition to that locker room. Really a great person to be around. Love watching him work this summer, and I'm excited to see what kind of player he becomes. Learning from Coach Prescott and the DB coaches and Coach Martin and Coach Longmire, and watching him compete week in and week out, because I think he's going to bring us a little edge that we need defensively.
Yes, sir. You see, everybody's fired up after seeing him out there making some awesome plays.
Just an awesome kid, I mean, what an awesome kid.
Luke Wilson back there to point with his punch blocked by number 21 right here. She's a tussle to get down there.
Critical turn of events right there.
Just
got a pick going in, got a pick, and then got the punt block, and they got it down in their zone.
Go there and respond right here. Broncos hands off to a running back. Finds his way up there towards the end zone. Coach, what do you think might have went wrong right here?
I mean, I don't know that it really went wrong. I mean, there's some things that if we played them in the regular season, we would do differently. But right now in a scrimmage, we're trying to figure out who we got in the box. And, we were a little outmanned and outgunned right there, and they were learning the hard way. I mean, they just got after us, and they finished the drive where we did not early in the game. So, hats off to them for finishing the drive. We've got to learn from it.
So Kitchen back there to pass. Ball's in the air right here. And the pass is complete to number 6, Trey right here, who runs it on in for a touchdown. Coach, we saw him throw an interception, but he came out responded pretty good and threw this touchdown to Trey. Love to see him making these type of plays and making reads like this. Yeah, I mean, look, cool. The kid made the big play right there, but I was more impressed with the way he threw the pick and bounced back. Like you said, I mean, for a young cat to throw a pick early going in, to come back and he just hit the wide open receiver, go through his reads and get it done. It tells me a lot about where his head is. And again, the kid's got a bright future. And we all know what Trey Seals can do. He was a big part of last year's success. And he's just got to continue to lead and show the way for all these skill guys, these new skill guys we have, and help Kitchen as much as possible. So Broncos ball right here. Quarterback steps back in the pocket. decides to want to take a shot down the field, and his pass is complete right there to number 9, and he is going to run up there for a touchdown. Coach, a couple of young guys maybe covering, they're going to get better as the season go on.
Yeah, I mean, no panic button here. We're talking, with just some couple of heavyweights going blow to blow right here early in this game. You're talking about a 4-star kid that's 6'4", 6'5", and really fast going against our sophomore corner who was a running back in the offseason. One of our better athletes, and a kid that, sometimes these things are what's going to make him go, because, you got to learn, like, if you're going against a bigger, better player, you have to revert back to what you're coached to do the job. And, he's going to learn these things, and you wish he didn't learn like that, but he does.
Jackie's ball right here, handing off to number 11, Jeremy Williams, makes a nice little run right here, put the Yellow Jacket offense in good advantage right here. Broncos ball, hands it off to number 23, gets out of traffic right there, and he runs it on there. Coach, how important is it for us to be able to make tackles right there?
Well, I mean, again, to be a legit defense, you got to build from the middle out. And, that is one thing where it's showing our youth and maybe our size up front right now as we get things figured out and get our young guys comfortable. I mean, to go against an offensive line like that, we got to secure the inside out. We can't give up the big run plays. We can't let running backs or linebackers get mauled by offensive linemen. We got to do our job, hold our gap. And, again, these are all things that have to happen in live play.
That's Broncos ball right here. Ball's in the air and going towards the end zone. Pass is incomplete and looks like it's blocked out right there by number 21.
Terry Large was a big play right there.
Oh, yeah. Love to see Terry out there making plays. Hands it off to the running back right here. Runs it on up in for a touchdown, makes score 28-7. Let's see what the offense can come back and respond to this. Luke Wilson back there, the point gets a bad snap. Decides you want to keep it. Running explosive, talked about him a little bit earlier. They're not afraid to take a hit. We saw that last year. The sideline love to see when we go out there.
And the advantage of an athlete at punter, you can survive some of these bad snaps in these situations right here.
Fired up. I know I was.
Punter could be our quarterback in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Devin Kitchen back there. Looks like his pass is picked off right here by number 22 for the Broncos. He's running up the field. Looks like he is going to run it in for a touchdown right here.
Yep. Just a youthful mistake. Not anything that can't be cleaned up. I mean, again, it's a scrimmage. Again, I mean, it's just a youthful mistake. This does not count against our record. Does not count against our PowerPoints. What matters is not necessarily on that scoreboard, but what goes on that field in that film room the next day. And, that's where we got to get the W and get it cleaned up and grow. And, again, a youthful mistake. Something tells me he doesn't do this again. And if that's the case, he learned his lesson. And all part of growing pains and learning how to play at this level, because he's never done it before.
As I say, he got our support up there up front. He treated us right. He treated the whole offense right. I love Denham. Final score right here, 35-7, Zachary in the live half.
Yeah.
Coach, right there in those little highlights, we saw a lot of good things from special teams. Something past like around this time last year, we didn't see these things from special teams. We had good returns. Kickoff was good. We had some good kicks. And Luke made a good decision right there. He did get that. Bad snap with the ball touching the ground, but he was able to, adapt to the game and make reads big time. How good is to see, this going on now, and how could this help us, going into the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, you take away the block punt, which was an easy fix. A couple of guys, not trusting the assignment or not knowing exactly what to do with the assignment. I mean, that's why they get blocked. Is you get a little lazy, a little lax at times. They had a return kickoff. Again, we got guys out there that are learning how to cover kicks, and you got guys that are blocking them and getting after them. It's a little different than sometimes you see in practice. And I thought we did some good things. I mean, had to ad lib on a bad snap right there. So there was some positives that we got out of the negatives. We got to learn. I mean, again, if this is going to happen, I'd much rather it happen now than in week 1, 2, 6, 7. This gives us a measuring stick right here to where, if we're still doing these things in week 5, then, we got to look at ourselves as coaches and make sure we're playing the right players. But this is just a start. It's just a beginning. A youthful team against a big-time opponent. Everything matters, and I think that's one of the things that you had to learn. This scrimmage right here, I don't think y'all really understood going into it that everything I talk about matters, whether it be football or whether it be school-related. but everything you pour into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you don't take it serious, well, that's going to come out in the white lines, and we saw some of that. So this team learned some hard lessons, and again, it's our job to continue moving in that direction towards towards the Superdome, and we're going to continue to do that, and take these hiccups as learning moments, grow from them, get everything corrected special teams wise, get better offensively, defensively, get some guys to step up on the depth chart, get some guys to step back on the depth chart. It's business, it's not personal. I love every one of you. But our job is to put together the best brand of football that's able to be played at Denham, and these are the things that we all have to see to make sure we're making the right decisions.
Yes, sir. What are some adjustments, that need to be made, maybe with the defense, maybe with the offense, this week right here, so we can be better and better prepared?
Yeah, defensively, we got to continue to tackle better, but quite frankly, we just got to be better in the box. And it's not that I don't think we were bad. We just got to learn to play with, with leverage. Our size is not, it's a disadvantage of our size up front. But again, through the preseason, we're not going to fire some of the bullets we're going to be firing when it's real. We know what we have up front, so we want to see you just kind of go, toe-to-toe with the big boys and see what you got to where we know what we're going to be firing when it comes time. But with all that said, we just got to continue to get comfortable with the game speed, tackling. Offensively, I think it's a big deal that everyone around the quarterback situation knows that you have to be better. You're protecting a sophomore, and the other three are in slings. So we all have to be better. You up front, your game, the five of you have to do a better job than you've done to this point. The coaches have to be aware of what's going on and what to call, because we got to get the ball out quick. We got to get that ball handed off. We can't let them take hits. We can pause with some of the quarterback run game right now and do some different things with some other guys. But at the end of the day, it's our job to take care of each other. And we all know what's going on, and we all have to be better. I've got to be better. I've got to get you ready to play better. And it starts with me, and I love it, and I'll wear it, and let's freaking roll. Let's just go back to work. There's no sense of panic right here. It's freaking go back to work and find out how tough we are.
Coach, who are some players that you're ready to see out there this week, against a big-time rival opponent, Walker, get a little bit of taste of that action, what it feels like to play in a heavy environment,
yep.
Soak all that in, as we get on to the season.
Yeah, I love our preseason lineup. You go against one of the elite powers and then the rivalry game, and we've kind of seen everything we need to see going into the season. We can't make excuses. We got to continue to grind it out, get you all as comfortable as possible, which is why I do a lot of what I do. And, I'm excited to see you all play. Yeah, Chase Gordon is a guy that needs to freaking get better up front. He's a guy that, is the left tackle on an offensive line and one of the younger pieces up there. He's got to prove that he can play like he looks in pads. Jalen Williams is a guy that I think everybody in the state's going to know about here real soon. Trey's got to continue to be the old man on the offense and understand that he's going to make a lot of things go because everybody's going to kind of focus on him and know where he's at. Tanner is just gives us that tough dude in the backfield. I love watching Tanner Kerner play football. It's just a football player. And I'm excited to see the young quarterback. I'm excited to see whoever takes the snap because it is different than what we're used to. Last year we were kind of spoiled. Now we've got guys that are going to be in this room for 2 or 3 years, battling it out for 2 or 3 years. So I'm excited to see whoever gets under center and takes the snap and grinds it out. And Devin. We've always kind of known that he was the quarterback of the future, and just how quick we get here was on him. So I'm excited to see him take the reins and run with it and see what he does with it, and continue. I love seeing. I love when he makes mistakes, and I love when he learns from them and grows from them. Because go ahead and get him out now, so the next 2 or 3 years are going to be kind of smooth, right? Yes. But defensively, we got a true freshman that's much a man. I'm excited to see him play 5A football because. We're not going against these junior highs in the parish anymore. We're going against big-time opponents. So I'm excited to see Derek Parker play at middle linebacker. I love our 2 safeties in Riley Johnson and Braylon Hawkins. Those are 2 guys that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And what I just mentioned really was up the gut. We got to find that nose guard position. We got a couple of young big bodies, and Trey Lee and Jasmine Clark. 2 dudes that their body styles are different, their play styles are different, but both could handle that. You got. Bear Harris is a kid that could be strong enough to go in there and give us some quality work and hold up against the bigs. But, really I want to see how we continue to grow from the inside out. Love watching our 2 corners play in Jadarian and Goldman and Terry. We got some guys right there that are rolling and getting it better. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. It's just we got to get through the ups and downs, and we got to get comfortable, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch us play again this year.
Yes, sir. All right, Coach B, we got a little bit something new right here. We got your weekly fan question.
All right.
You know, someone wants to know, what does game day look like for you from start to finish? You know, starting the day off and, you know, ending the day after the game.
Well, usually on, I guess what you call even days, so that's Wednesday and Fridays in our schedule. You know, early in the year, I'm doing a lot of AD work, kind of getting some things situated there. You know, right now that's no different because this is kind of the busy time of my year. So, you know, I'm doing a lot of that. And then I've got a couple little game day errands that I go run, just kind of a little ritual, and go pick up my clothes, usually shave my head. You know, you got to have that fresh shave. You know, just little things to kind of get away and clear my mind and make sure I've got everything, all my I's dotted and T's crossed for everything that we've got to do. Because, you know, there's a lot of moving pieces into a football team, and there's a lot of moving parts into running a football game. And there's a lot of coaches and a lot of kids, and it's my job to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, down by the minute. You know how anal I am about the minutes and where we're supposed to be. But I love our pregame rituals. But, you know, then once I get there, you know, I'm kind of hanging out in the back, just kind of hanging out after I get a little light lunch because we're going to eat pregame meal. And then when the bell rings at 2:35, that's when we go eat pregame. You know, when the season starts, you'll come out, you'll meet with me in the team room. I'll call roll, make sure everybody's good to go. Kind of let y'all get your bed and position set up and get ready to take a little downtime, a little nap. We'll go eat pregame. We'll go have devotion, then we'll eat pregame meal. We'll come back. About 30 minutes of chill time and kind of get things situated before we take you know, anywhere from a 60 to 90 minute bed down, nap, quiet time where you can watch your phones and computer and everything else. I do that with you. You know, it's always been the same. I got an air mat. You know, this year's a little different. Usually I had the couch in the old office. Now I got an air mattress on the floor. You know, it's no different. I've always done that from when I was at Woodlawn and we were in the auditorium to Live Oak when we were in the field house, kind of like we are now. And then when you get up, it's go time. You know, you get that little walk, go put my wife's and kids' chairs out in the end zone and get dressed and go.
Yes, sir.
Nothing too crazy, you know, just a chill day at the office, right?
Yeah.
Get ready to be judged by 6,000 sets of eyes. Yeah. Love every second of it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes go to Walmart.
Okay, Walmart.
You know, we might need stuff at Walmart for the office, but I mean, again, I just get out and kind of go walk around, kind of take it all in. You know, I do love Denham Springs and love getting out amongst Denham Springs and love wearing my Denham gear in Denham. And, you know, when people talk to me, you know, I get out on game day, let them know we have a game, where we're at, whether we're at home or away. You know, and again, I got to go get some things, you know, for Saturday mornings and things like that I go do on Friday just to kind of get away from some of the chaos that's on campus, you know, before the real chaos that night.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Brett Beard Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. Once again, I'm your host, Chase Gordon, and joined with Coach Beard. Coach Beard, thank you for coming to sit down with me today.
Absolutely. Hey, great job. Way to kick off the season.
Yes, sir. Jackets will be playing jamboree at Walker. You know, Coach, what are the times again?
You got 5 o'clock. Freshmen will go with a 45-minute live quarter. 6:15, JV will play 2 10-minute halves. 7:30-ish, depending on when that ends, will be 2 12-minute halves with the varsity.
See you next week.
Throws it downfield looking for Trey Sills, and it's going to be caught by Trey Sills in the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. He's off to the races. Gets on one defender. 15, 10, 5, and in for the touchdown.